Hello, welcome back to the COD feed, the show where we talk about this week's best and worst in the CDL. I'm Scooch.
And I'm John.
And before we get into everything of the week, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe so that you can get these videos every week, once a week, twice a week, maybe more. Don't forget to subscribe. This weekend was, I would say, a pretty tame weekend in comparison to last weekend. Last weekend had drama. I think more than once. We had delays. Had our technical issues this weekend as well, obviously.
But nothing compared to that first day.
Right. That first day, it was a 10-hour stream almost.
Yeah.
You didn't get that.
That was tough.
We have I will say, I think the weekend being tame is a good reflection of where the current standings are. 8 teams are tied at 2-2 going into Major 1. We have 2 teams at the top, I believe, with the 3, or is it only Rocker at the top? Might be 2 teams at the top with 3-1. 2 teams at the bottom with a 1-3.
Yeah.
And
definitely Rocker at the top.
Yeah, Rocker's definitely at the top. And controversial top, obviously, because it could be 2-2 as well. But with that being said,
Ultra is also
is 3-1.
Yes.
Wow.
3-1.
It's so crazy because I remember their loss, but for some reason I can't remember their wins. I don't know. I mean, I think they've had some hard fought wins, and I do think that one of their wins I think was a 3-1, and that was against Surge, I believe. So I think they're living up to the expectation they had with the people that they came into. But that being said, 2 teams at the bottom with 1 and 3. One of those got their win this weekend. The team no one expected to do well, Las Vegas Legion. So
Shouts out.
they beat. Not only did they get their first win, had to be against the team at the top, giving Rocker that 3-1.
The fact that they got a win puts them at the top for me.
That's kind of facts. And the fact that they beat Rocker more than anything is,
I think that's
the
team on top.
That's the most telling thing. Because look, to be honest, going in from weekend 1 to weekend 2, Rocker did look like one of the best teams. I think as not just individually, but as a whole. They had a game plan for most of the maps. No matter what team they took on, it seemed like they knew how to counter them.
They had a glitch ready for when they were gonna lose.
Yeah, they always got the SAEs on deck. You never know when they gotta pull the SAE out.
Other teams should take notes.
Yeah. But they lost to Legion, and I think Rocker, as well as everyone else, thought Rocker's gonna go to Major 1 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
I believed in Legion. Never stopped believing. All right.
Did I believe in them? That's a tough question to answer, but did I root for them? I did. I was rooting for them.
I think the thing is, like, throughout Legion's first 3 games, we did see glimpses of, really good, not just teamwork, but gameplay from them.
They were close. They were just close.
They've had close ones, and especially in, like, hard points, they've had some very close hard points where they honestly could have won them. A lot of the time.
Yeah.
And actually that kind of brings me to another thing that while they could, talking about how they could have won their hard points, Rocker has not won a single first map in the last 4 games. That they have gone.
That's interesting.
0-4 on map 1.
That's so interesting. Okay.
I mean, apparently Ultra did that during Cold War. And I'm pretty sure they were one of the best teams in Cold War. So, I guess maybe not too worrying, just an interesting fact, to be honest.
Something I need to think about. I don't know if we mentioned it, but Vegas is our top fragger.
I completely forgot.
I don't think we mentioned
it. Yeah, our top fragger.
The week.
Yeah. Let's get into some of these numbers as well. Temp finished this year with a 1.22. Clayster with a 1.14, TJ with a 0.96. Proloot did finish with a 0.91, somewhere on the lower end. However, Proloot had his moments in there. But, Temp and Clay finished both. They did amazing. Temp went 82-67. Clay went 83 and 73. Clay finished with over 10,000 damage dealt.
Mm-hmm.
And, we saw him pop off throughout the entire
At the
thing.
end,
Let's not
he
forget
really
that.
clutched up at the very last.
That hard
minute,
point clutch was insane. I was
Yeah.
literally standing.
He was holding that rotation perfectly.
I think it's insane that he gets the 2-piece on that hard point and attached. It's like they don't give attached the info that he's literally right next to him.
He's right next to him, yeah.
I think it takes. I know he takes out Afro, and I think it's maybe Bance that's there with him and Attach. He takes the first 2 out, and Attach is just crouched there, trying to see where he's at. He gets the kill.
Someone else from Vegas is there too, right?
It was Proloot, I
I'm
believe,
bugging.
but Proloot I think
yeah.
gets taken out, so it's just Clay. But because TJ and Temp had already rotated, Proloot, I'm pretty sure on spawn is closer to the point already. And since TJ Temp already have the rotation, makes it easy for Clay to then move to there. They just hold it down 3 more seconds, win the round. It was insane.
Yeah, the thing was, it was a pretty close hard point the whole entire time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a lot. I think at one point, both teams did hold not significant, but a pretty big lead over each other. And
But for majority of the time, it was close.
right, and so for the majority of the time, especially towards the end, it was unbelievably close. I think
Yeah, so if you
go ahead.
go ahead, I was gonna say if you give up the rotation, you're pretty much asking to lose.
Yeah, and I think where Rocker kind of threw it away a little bit was they were so focused on getting the last few seconds of that of the hard point that they completely forgot about the next rotation. And I think also in the heat of the moment they weren't looking at the points, didn't realize they get that rotation, it's over. I think they were still kind of focused on getting back the point that they didn't realize Vegas might already be at the next one.
Yeah, because the next point is like across the map. You don't get that rotation. You have to get through that middle of the map, which is gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you do have that left side of the map where you can kind of go in the water, go through that little a little ruin to get to the point. But yeah, it's almost impossible to get into it.
They didn't even do that. Yeah,
especially since
they said
that last point that they were on has doors.
Yeah. Remember, everyone's saying that if you ain't swimming, you ain't winning.
Yes, sir.
Literally, because if you don't swim in that map, then you're screwed.
And I gotta say, on the SND against Rocker, Legion looked amazing. They did have one round where it was a flawless for Rocker, and I think it was kind of a turning point because it was 3-0. Then Rocker brought it back to 3-3, and then I think if I'm right, it ended 6-4.
Or 6-3.
6-3. Okay, yeah. So that, I think it was either the second or third round that Rocker won. It was a wipe. It was a pretty bad one. But I think where Legion really stood out was that they stayed composed. No one was really running and gunning. They played it slow. They played it smart. They got the trades that mattered. And I think that's ultimately what won them was the slow play on both attacking and on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, TJ kind of carried a little bit.
Yeah, I think TJ finished that with a 1.5 KD.
A 1.5 KD overall, yeah.
Yeah, which was crazy. I mean, not to, cut away from the fact Prolu got a 3-piece in one of the, I think it was round 7. Prolu got a 3-piece. And then the last round, Clay got a team wipe. Running around with the MCPR. Last kill being pistol. Honestly, looking at this Legion compared to the previous 3 games, huge difference. And I think the biggest thing that, and Clay said it in the post-match interview, is they went back, watched the VODs. Specifically, he wanted them to watch VODs of him, right, of their last games. And he told the team, he was like, listen, tell me what you want me to do. Instead of, us kind of like going rogue and like just, trying to do a thing. He was like, tell me where you want me. Tell me what you need me to do. Just let me know what I have to do. And I think that helped them.
He also mentioned that they don't have like a set leader. Like it'll depend on what game mode and what's actually going on in the map itself. So like he mentioned, like Pro Loop mostly carrying S&D.
Right.
I think that's also something that most teams probably aren't doing.
Right, and he even said for the S&D that usually, even though Proloot is their shot caller, he said what one of them this S&D is, instead of doing that, while he was giving out calls, they also did play by ear. Where rather than being like, this is our game plan for the round, it was more, okay, I have Deddy, I have trophies, I have this. Okay, I'll watch your, I got your, I'll watch down this for you, I'll watch it back, I'll do this. It was more just play by play rather than, okay, this round, this is what we got to do for the whole round, And I think that is a good way to play if you kind of still in the back of your mind, keep in mind like what you do have to get accomplished in the map, but still have that free form kind of play. Because I do think if you keep using the same plays, obviously eventually teams are going to figure you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You got to be fluid.
Yeah. So, because of that, Legion looking great. I think going into Major 1. Yeah, they're bottom. They're 12th. But they look good. They look great. We didn't have Temp ego challenging with a knife or studying himself. I think Temp looked amazing. Clay looked amazing. TJ Pro. Literally, no one looked bad.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them looked bad.
I think for the first time.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it makes me happy, man. Makes me happy to see them play like that. On the other hand, Rocker, did they look bad? No. I think they looked fine. I think Legion was just a better team. However, Afro and Attach both just finished at 1.0 KD. Obviously kills aren't everything, but a 1.0, they broke even. Bance and Cammy both finished under 1.0. I think it goes to show though that like playing as a team matters more than just being super kill heavy. So, at the end of the day, Legion, hats off to them, man. They did amazing.
Top fragger of the week.
Yeah, which also kind of, leads us into this other topic, quick little topic about the M4 being gone as the meta. It got GA'd in the middle of the week. The TAC is the new meta for the pros. And obviously it made a huge difference.
Yeah, led to some big changes.
Yeah, I mean, we look at it, in weekend 1, the M4 had 71.6% of the kills, which is a lot. That's a lot. Meanwhile, you go into this weekend that just passed, the attack only had 58% of the kills. Still pretty high compared to the subs, but dramatic change.
I mean, that's going to be expected, I think.
Yeah.
That the AR is going to.
Yeah.
Because this game is so long distance.
Yeah.
You can't really do much about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think most of the maps, it's like more about that long play rather than the running and gunning of the SMGs. I think Vanguard really catered to the SMG player a lot more. I think some of the ARs in Vanguard were also, honestly, some of them felt useless from distance. Like, if you didn't have good recoil control, there was no point of even using an AR, But this game, super AR, tilted. It's insane. But it's nice to see the balance kind of restored,
Yeah, I know. A lot of the pros were saying that it wouldn't change anything, but it obviously changed a lot.
Yeah, especially I think the funniest point of the week was Methods saying that he didn't want the TAC because he's like, it's so much better than the M4. And then everyone on the flank asking him, well, why didn't you use it then? It wasn't GA'd. Yeah. And he was like, well, I honestly don't have an answer for you there.
Yeah, you can't explain it. Yeah, it's not.
That was peak comedy, man.
Yeah.
But that takes us to our bottom fragger for the week. And it's not a person, not a team. Tell us what it is.
It's a map. And I think just saying that alone, anyone's going to get what map we're talking about, because it's probably my least favorite map that we've seen anyone play on. It's Fortress.
Yeah, of course.
Specifically in Control.
Oh my god.
We saw it even in that Vegas map. That Fortress was rough to watch.
Listen, in that, like going back to that game, that series, in that Control, neither of them won an offensive round. It was back-to-back defense. Insane.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I think it highlights it well. You were showing me some of the respawns that, as long as you hold down the middle, the other team's the attacking team spawns way in the back corner. It's just spawn traps the whole way through.
Yeah, if you're the attacking team, you'll just keep spawning in that top right section. I have the map on here, but you'll just keep spawning in that top right section of the map, and it's impossible to get to either point because the other team can just hold the middle. I mean, we saw Clayster holding that stairs.
Yeah, I think he called it a demon trap or something like that.
That's literally where he was about to hit streaks there. He just went off from the streaks.
Yeah.
But just hold, like, it's impossible to get to your points.
Yeah, and then there was another spot. I think it's a room on the building that's the side of the points. There's a room that you can hold a corner in, and as soon as the teams start coming through there, it's chalked. You can just get them through there too.
Yeah, I don't know why the pros aren't vetoing this map, because it's like you get one tick more in your rounds. Like, it's there, no matter what, it'll go to that round 5.
Right.
Of the map for control. So you get one tick more, you're gonna win.
Yeah,
because you'll be defending.
And I mean, like, not even just on control, but S&D terrible. Right now, the pros are only using one plant site to plant on. They don't use the other one almost ever, because it's useless. And I what I was seeing is that some of the pros want Mercado to come in and take out Fortress. But apparently that map isn't that much better for control. But I think they would rather that than Fortress. And I mean, listen, when the game first dropped, you and one of our friends would you guys told me the first time you played Fortress, it was like the worst experience ever, you know?
Yeah, I had to back out of that map every time I got it, because it's just Camp City. You know, if you're playing pubs.
Yeah, my first experience with that map was actually really good. I dropped like a 40 bomb. And then my experience after that with that map is like the worst experience. Like, literally, it went from the best to literally just being my least favorite map. I hate it so much. It's so hard to break the points, you know?
It's impossible,
I don't know. I really hope to get rid of it, DGA, or something.
Or at least just veto it.
Yeah, just veto it. I'm still confused.
Teams are probably banking on being the team to be defense in that last round and then getting an easy win. But is it even worth it?
Yeah,
risking not getting that defensive round.
Yeah, because I think one of the rounds Vegas didn't even get a tick. I think it was their first offensive round. They didn't get a single tick on it.
Yeah, no, it's it's
a terrible map. I really hope to get rid of it. I hope
that's why it's our loser for the week.
Yeah, I hope major one happens, and then let's be thinking. You know, they got like a month or two, or what is it, month and a half before the next major. Get rid of that map.
Yeah, they have some time. Yeah,
it's terrible. Well, now we can move in. Now that both weekends are done, let's move into our predictions. We have challengers. This is a pro-am. I really don't know much about the challengers. I don't really it's not that I don't want to watch it. Just, you know, it's sometimes hard to keep track of it. Also, are they streaming challengers on Twitch?
I'm not sure how they're going to do, because, you know, last season and the season before that, it was on YouTube. They had a separate channel.
Yeah.
I would hope they just stream it on the same Twitch channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they probably don't care about the challengers enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea what they're gonna do. I guess we'll see on Wednesday. But yeah, I also don't know much about the challengers teams.
Yeah, I know we have 2 academy teams in. So the LAG Academy and I think it's Rocker Academy are 2 of the teams that are going to be in the challengers. And to be honest, usually from what we've seen in the past, the academy teams tend to be some of the better teams in the challengers league. So, you know,
for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. They have more resources, coaches, like, you know, they have the facilities to be a better team. So it's kind of unfair in a way.
Yeah.
Do I see a challengers team winning the Pro-Am major? No.
And I think Doug is gonna win.
Bro, no Doug, no dub. This is real.
No Doug, no dub. He's gonna find a loophole to get in. And he's gonna make it. He's gonna win the whole thing by himself too.
Yeah. It's just gonna be him versus 4 every single game. No, and it's not to knock the challengers teams. It's just that they have to play games on Wednesday before going into the weekend. Okay, and they got to play. I think it's 2 to 3 games depending where they end up in their own brackets. Then go into group play on Friday with the pros, and you know, to be fair, I would say the groups are balanced just because of how many teams are 2-2 right now. Right, the groups aren't crazy. I wouldn't say there's one group you would prefer to be in over another. But I think it's just difficult having to play midweek and then come in on Friday, and then now you have to play again. And then, let's say a challengers team ends up in the losers bracket later on once it goes to the tournament style. That's a lot of games before you have to get to the final. Would it be amazing to see?
Pros.
Yes. Yeah, pros that are going to have a week, except for Thieves and Ravens. Every other team is going to have a whole week break, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's super against a challengers team being able to, but it would be cool to see.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome to see a challengers team make it far. Real underdog story. I don't know how that would affect the season points wise.
That's what I was thinking too.
This is kind of
one actually counts.
In a way, I will say, we discussed this, while the Pro-Am is cool, it's so pointless to challengers teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's just them being able to get more money than they would originally.
Right, yeah, but it just sucks that it's a one-time thing,
Yeah.
One time in the season, and then it doesn't even matter.
It would be cool if they could incorporate this into every major.
Yeah, or not even just a Pro-Am, but maybe give a stage to the amateur teams, to the challengers teams.
But the thing is, they didn't pay their dues, man.
They didn't pay the $25 million, just like the pros haven't either. Anyway, let's get into our predictions. Let's start with you. What are your predictions going into Major 1?
I'm thinking Optic Phase Final. No, I'm playing. It's hard to predict. I think it's so hard to make a prediction. I don't even know where to begin because all the teams seem pretty even. Let me open up the standings.
Right. I mean, I agree. Rocker, like I said, Rocker, people want to say they're the top team, but obviously their first win is debatable. So they could be 2-2 right now. They are 3-1. It's weird.
Yeah, and I think I would have originally said Thieves after the first weekend, making it to the final.
Right.
But then after this weekend and them not being able to use that M4, I think it really hit them hard.
Yeah.
So it's so tough. Every team is pretty much even. I'm thinking we see Ultra up there.
Ooh.
In the finals.
That's a good shout. And what other team?
You know what? Just because I'm feeling saucy, I'm going to say LAG.
LAG.
No reason for it either. I have absolutely zero reason for it.
Purple versus purple, man.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I think that would be a really cool matchup, just because I love seeing the way Ultra has been playing with Scrappy Doo. It's just, his style is so gung ho. I feel like it does throw teams off.
It'd also be hilarious to see him in a LAN.
I agree.
His reactions are priceless. And also, I think it'd be cool to see our cities win a major
after getting dropped by FaZe. Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty hype.
I like our cities. He's also funny, especially in the post match conferences. He's a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good personality, and it'd be cool to see him win. Also, LAG has Spart's mom. That's a difference, bro. Spart's mom makes a difference at land events, bro.
But it also would be cool to see Vegas.
100%.
Because they're definitely still the underdogs.
Yeah. I mean, and that goes into my predictions. I think the end will be Legion versus Optic. Now listen, Optic hasn't obviously been the best team so far. Okay, I would say they looked strong against Rocker, had to forfeit that one, and now they're one of the teams that's 2-2. They could be 3-1. I think, we have to take into consideration Shotzi's been sick. He's been feeling under the weather. Scump at one point was also sick. He was having stomach issues. Apparently they were having some personal problems behind the scenes. And, they didn't look terrible this weekend. They lost to Thieves, obviously, but it was a hard-fought loss. It was not like
they won to Ravens.
And they beat Ravens, a team that, to be honest, first weekend looked amazing.
Yeah.
So I think the problems aside, they get past those things this weekend going to Major 1, they're going to look amazing. Listen, Scump has literally looked insanely good this game. It's almost sad to say that he's retiring after this year, but Scump has been crazy good, like amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and Shotzi, on the other hand, has been kind of the opposite. Compared to last year, you know, Shotzi has been underperforming, I would say. And I think that has, you know, it's mostly due to the fact that this game is very AR heavy compared to SMG, so it doesn't really suit him.
Yeah.
But I think also the fact that he's been sick isn't helpful.
Yeah.
So I think, listen, let's say they get past all that. Optic's going to look amazing going into Major 1. I think they make it to Grand Finals. And obviously Legion, look, I'm throwing it out there, okay? I'm not saying Legion is the best team. But how they played against Rocker was amazing, bro. It's like we said, no one looked bad. You know, sometimes we look at these teams that win and we're like, okay, but this person underperformed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But with them, it was beautiful watching it. You know, I just watched back their entire SND, like before we started filming. I watched back their whole SND, and the way they performed was crazy. They were smart. You know, they pulled out their deadies when they had to. They knew exactly how to move. I think they did something that I would say most of the teams aren't doing in S&D, and that's once you get a kill, don't wait around to be traded.
Yeah.
They kill and then rotate somewhere else because they know if they stay, the info's there. You know?
Yeah.
They played it smart. They're playing as a team. There's no more ego chatting. You know, and it's like I said in the last one. You remember how I said Clay, it feels like is taking more of like a backseat and like kind of letting them guide him even though he's the older player. And then he admitted it, you know? That's what he's been doing. And it works amazing for them. So I think they keep this form up that they had against Rocker. They can make it to the grand finals. And,
versus
you know,
Optic.
I think versus Optic, we could get an amazing game out of them. You know?
I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think one thing Optic has to... I feel like they struggled with this last season, too, is just picking maps. I feel like they're really bad at picking what maps they should be playing on.
We talked about this last season. Their map choices... You know, at first we thought that it was just ego. Like, they're like, yeah, we're bad at it, but we can do it. But then the more they did it, we were like, maybe it's not ego. Maybe they're just terrible.
They're just bad, yeah. They just don't know what maps they're good at. I don't know. You would think these teams have, like, analysts and stuff that would tell them these things.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on over there. I feel like they're, even last season, they were bad at picking maps.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and you know what's so funny too is Legion and Rocker going into that, Nameless actually predicted Legion to win based off map choices, because he said Rocker's choices were not good, and it
makes a huge difference.
I could see Legion going into a grand final versus Optic making bad map choices and Legion winning because of that. You know?
Yeah.
But
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. You know, like you said, it's the first major. We've only had 2 weekends. It's a very hard thing to predict.
Yeah, and throwing challengers teams in there only makes it even harder.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see. You know, I think everyone's excited for it. It's the first major. It is in Raleigh.
Yes, first land event.
Yeah, and it's also going to have the COD Mobile World Championship. I believe that's what it's called.
Something like
there's also going to be the Challengers Open Play, which is the tournament for the Challengers team specifically.
The pit.
So it should be a great event, you know. I wish we could have gone. Maybe we'll go to one of the other ones. We do have a Boston and a New York.
They're separate this year.
Yeah. They each have their own major, so maybe we go to one of those, you know. Would be cool. Yeah. Be there, you know, host a little watch party, see what we could do, you know.
That's it.
But I think that's it for this week. I guess we'll see what happens in the middle of the week. We have LA Thieves versus Ravens. That'll fully set the brackets and, the groups. And we'll see who wins out of that. Doesn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. And then, we'll go into Major 1. Any last closing thoughts?
No, just looking forward to the start of the major. I think it's going to be hype.
Yeah, going to be a great major, I think. Well, guys, until the next time, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. What did you think of Legion? What do you think of Fortress? What do you think of the M4 ban? Like, you know, what are your thoughts on this weekend so far going into Major 1? Who do you think is gonna win? Tell us down below. All right. Again, I am Scooch.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.